Good morning, we're recording, and my name is Jen. And our focus today, this morning, is going to be on space, creating space in our body. Let's begin in child's pose. Again, this pose, this entry pose, is available to you anytime throughout the practice that you need to take it. And it's up to you whether or not you want to create more space between your knees and go wide, or if you want to take your knees together this morning. Good morning, Chris, I see you. Arms either out in front of you or down by your side, you decide. And again, our focus today is on creating space. So as you begin to notice your breath flowing in and out, no need to change anything, just come into observation. And begin to notice the space at the top of the breath as you breathe in, and the bottom of the breath as you breathe out. The space that's at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. Also begin to notice the body parts that expand as you inhale and contract as you exhale. And take 5 more breaths right here. Allowing each breath to become a little deeper and more expansive. Now reach your arms out in front of you. Spread your fingers wide, create space in between each finger. Spread your toes wide and create space between them as well. Press your palms down, press the tops of your toes down into your yoga mat. Pull your belly into your spine. And just lengthen your arms out, lengthening the spine along with it, pressing your hips back as you reach forward, creating length and space in the spine. Maybe as you reach your maximum distance of reaching, root your palms down, press them in to the ground, and press your hips back, creating more space even in the side body. Begin deepening your breath. Now, if your arm bones have unplugged from the shoulder sockets, plug your arm bones back into your shoulder sockets, integrate, and then press your palms down. Make your way to downward dog. You can take some cat and cows on your way if you'd like to warm up the spine further. We'll meet in downward facing dog for 5 deep breaths. Again, take your time, move intentionally here this morning, creating space in the spine as you land in downward facing dog, maybe taking a longer stance than usual, maybe wider, creating more space between the shoulders and the hips. Now introduce drishti between your feet, both eyes set at one point. 3 more deep breaths here. Empty the air out. Look forward. Walk your feet to your hands for Ragdoll Pose at the top of your mat. Feet hip distance or even to the outer edges of your mat this morning. A generous bend in your knees. Option to clasp either elbow. And if you take the clasp, maybe giving a gentle tug to each elbow, lengthening the side body. Shake your head yes and no, allowing the crown of your head to drop heavy to the earth. Lift and spread your toes once more. Ground down into the ball mounds in the center of each heel. Drop your bind. Take your big toes to touch your heels slightly apart. Walk your hands to your shins, halfway lift, breathe in, press your hips back, crown of your head forward. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lengthen again, breathe in. Exhale, fold. 3 more, just like that, with your breath. Find the rhythm. In, out, in, out. Pull your belly in, press your feet down, rise. Extended mountain. Turn your pinkies in towards the center line of your mat. Keep your arms lifted as you press down into the mat and lift up. Exhale your hands to heart center. Press your thumb knuckles in to your chest. Take your gaze slightly out in front of you. We'll unite our practice with Om. Breathe in. If you've joined us and I haven't seen you, welcome. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up, create space. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, create the space. Exhale, plant your hands and step back, high plank, pause here. Be intentional in creating the foundation of your plank. Spread your fingers wide and press the mat away with your palms. Soften your elbows. Pull the front of your belly in and up. Press back through your heels. Hug into the middle of your mat. Option always here to drop your knees. 3 more breaths here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, fill. Exhale, empty. Lower all the way down for our first vinyasa. Take Cobra Pose. Untuck the toes, press the palms down. Lift your chest up, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 5 breaths, breathe in. Breathe out. Again, creating space in your practice through your physical foundation right here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe your hands a little wider, pinkies off the edge of your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, inhale. Exhale, empty. Look forward. Walk or hop your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, take a breath in. Bow forward, breath out. Root down and rise to extended mountain. Lift your arms overhead, look up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine in both directions. Exhale, high plank to low plank or all the way down. Cobra pose or upward facing dog. Breath in, take your shoulders back and down, look up. Downward facing dog, press back. 5 breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Soften your elbows, soften your knees. Breathe in, breathe out. Drishti between your feet. Breathe in. Lengthen your side body. Breathe out. Breath in. Breath out. Last one, fill. Exhale, empty. Shift your gaze forward. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Forward fold. Breathe out. Rise to stand. Extended mountain. Breathe in. Forward fold. Breathe out. Halfway lift. Breathe in. High to low, you take your version of vinyasa, breathe out. Cobra or up dog, breathe in, press the mat away, look up. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 5 breaths, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more, fill. Empty. Last one, breathe in. Exhale it all out, look forward, feet to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Rise to stand, Malasana, breathe in, press down to lengthen up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, keep that space in your spine, high to low. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale, 5 breaths. Focus your eyes. Where can you create more space in this downward facing dog? Last breath in. Exhale, empty. Shift the gaze forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Chair pose, Utkatasana, breathe in and stay. Again, creating your foundation, lifting and spreading your toes, creating space between each toe. And then lengthen your toes out on your mat, set them down. Hug your outer shins in, inner thighs spiral to the back edge of your mat. Hug your belly in and up. Notice if that hugging in creates more space across your lower back, your sacrum, and then sit a little lower for a 3 count. 3, Drishti, 2, exhale, bow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, take your vinyasa high to low. You can always omit the vinyasa and meet in downward facing dog. You get to choose your practice, how you create the space. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Right foot forward, left foot flat, warrior 1, come to rise on the inhale. Exhale and stay, 5 breaths. Firm up your back leg by pressing that back foot firmly into earth. Pull your belly in and up. And then spread your fingers. Create space and energy out of them. Wake them up. Last breath in. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back. And take your vinyasa high to low. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Breathe in as you up dog. Breathe out, down dog. Left foot forward, right foot flat. Warrior one as you inhale. 5 breaths. Pressing down into earth to firm up the legs. Hug into the middle of your mat. And then keeping your arm bones plugged in, can you still reach up to lift up out of your sideways, creating space between each rib? Exhale, hands down. Take your vinyasa, high, low, up. We'll meet in down dog. 5 breaths. Drishti between your feet. Hug your front ribs together. Notice if that gives you an expansiveness across your middle back. More space to breathe. Last one in. Exhale, empty, look forward, feet to hands, step or hop. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Chair pose, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathe in. High to low, breathe out. Up dog, cobra, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Right side warrior, breathe in, rise. Exhale to lower your hands. Take your vinyasa. You can move as rapidly or as slowly as you'd like. Take the left side on your breath. Warrior one, inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale up. Exhale back. 5 breaths. And again, know that child's pose is always available to you. Anytime you want to take a break, you can always rejoin the flow. When you're ready, you decide how you create space on your mat this morning. One more breath. Exhale, empty, look forward, take your feet forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Chair pose, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Lengthen your spine, breathe in. Take your vinyasa as you exhale. Up, press back. Right side warrior, breathe in as you rise. Lean into the pose. Exhale as you plant your hands. Hug your belly in as you lower. Up dog, down dog. Left side warrior, intentionally grounding down, lifting up, creating space in your body. And then lowering back down. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe out. 5 deep breaths. Fill yourself up. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, press your palms down, lift your hips up high. Last breath in. Exhale, empty, look forward. We're moving through our last sun salutation B. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Press down to rise, chair pose, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Lengthen long, breathe in. High to low, breathe out. Cobra or up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Right foot forward, left flat, rise, warrior one. Exhale, lower, keep this length in your spine. Up dog, lift the crown of your head high. Down dog, press back. Left side with your breath. On the exhale, lower. Breathe in as you press the mat away. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, we will meet. Join your big toes at the back of your mat. Lift your heels up high. Inhale your right leg up. Stack your hips as you open up your leg. Bend your upper knee. Take that heel to your glutes. Stay here. You can square your shoulders to the front edge of your mat. Or you're welcome to take Wild Thing if you'd like to flip over this morning. Just take your time creating space in the pose. What does that look like for you? For me, it's just staying put and experiencing the sensation in my hip flexor. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Keep pressing the mat away and lifting up. If you flipped, unflip your dog. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Join your big toes. Lift your left leg high. Flex your foot and spread your toes. So engage the leg. Stack your hips on top of each other. Notice the space you're creating. One long line of energy. Bend the upper knee. Stay or flip for a 3 count. 3, 2. Unflip if you flipped. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. Shift forward, high plank. Option to drop your knees here. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Side plank, right hand down, stacking your right shoulder over your right wrist. You can stack your legs or drop your bottom knee. You choose. Lengthen your side body. Spin your chest open, look up. Flex your toes back towards your face. Plant both hands. Exhale. You can vinyasa or we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. Inhale, high plank, shift forward, use the stacking of your joints to create more ease in the pose. Left side, side plank. Knee up or knee down, what does it look like for you to create space in this side plank? Lengthen both sides of your body. And then take your gaze high for 3, for 2. Plant both hands. We'll meet in downward facing dog. You pick your journey of getting there. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, sigh something out. Ha, ha. Pull your belly in and up. Expand your mid-back. Take a breath in as you lift your right leg. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, stepping forward. Crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Option to drop your back knee. Lift your arms. For me, the default that happens is my front ribs want to splay out. So everybody pull your front ribs back in towards your belly button. See if you notice your mid-back expand. Take another breath in center. Exhale, take the twist, either open arm, or you can take the prayer twist, putting your palms together, using the leverage of that left elbow against your right knee to twist your chest open. 3 more breaths. Extend the crown of your head long. Create space in your side body, one long line of energy. Last breath. Warrior 2. Go long in your pose. Lower your center of gravity this morning. Check in with your front knee. If it's going past your ankle, then go even longer in your stance. We're creating space in the body this morning. And with the breath, creating space between each thought. Being here in the moment and not back in our heads. Creating more space. Hug your arm bones into the shoulder sockets. Reverse your warrior back. Extended side angle. Forearm to thigh. If you want to take a deeper version, taking a bind or a half bind, you're welcome to scale up. What does it look like to create space in this pose for you this morning? 2 more breaths. Long and steady, stay with it. Exhale and plant your hands. Take your version of vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath in, clearing breath out. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, step through, Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge, back knee up or down this morning. I'm taking the back knee down version. Front ribs pull in, creating space in the mid back to expand. Hug your outer shins in. Now create ease. With your breath, soften your face. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, take either the open arm twist or the prayer twist version. Hug belly to spine, creating space to twist your chest open to the sky. Recommit to your foundation. Recommit to your breath. Last breath here. Exhale, warrior two. Lift and spread your toes. Create the foundation of the four corners of your feet, pressing down. Arm bones hug in, fingers spread wide. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Can you create space from your back pinky toe out through the fingertips of your right arm, reaching forward? Notice if you're collapsing in to the bottom arm and press away from the earth. 2 more breaths. Squeeze your outer glutes in, just slightly, creating stability in the pelvis. 1 more breath. Exhale, hands down, take vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Soften your knees in downward facing dog. Soften your elbows. Can the softening create more space, more availability to lengthen your spine and lift your hips higher? Big deep breath in. Exhale, empty, bend your knees, step, or you can hop to the front of your mat. Lengthen, breathe in. Bow, breathe out. Chair pose, breathe in. Open arm twist to the right, breathe out. Or prayer twists. 5 breaths. Sit your hips lower, lift your heart higher, taking your chest away from your thighs. Option to open your arms, creating more space. Possibly. Maybe for you, this doesn't create more space. Last breath here. Exhale, empty. Inhale, chair pose, 1 breath. Exhale, bow. Great work. We're capable of so much more than we think. Take your feet at least hip distance apart, maybe even to the outer edges of your mat this morning. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers, lengthen your spine, hips back, crown forward, bend your knees and bow. Send your elbows to the outer edges of your mat. Release your bind. Take your big toes to touch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Chair pose, breathe in. Sink into your heels. Toes get light. Exhale, open arm twist to your left or palms together, taking the prayer twist. 5 breaths. Pull your belly into your spine and lift your chest up away from your thighs. Option to open your arms. Last breath. Chair pose, Utkatasana, one breath in. Exhale, Uttanasana, bow. Take your feet mat distance apart once more. You choose the bind this time. You can do Gorilla Asana, placing your palms underneath your feet, palms up or palms down, or taking the clasp of your hands behind your back. Spilling your arms forward, squeezing your shoulder blades out. Be generous with the bend of your knees. Drop your bind, bring your toes to touch. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Options here are crow pose or Malasana, deep squat. Yogi's choice, we're here for a 5 count. What is going to create space in your body this morning? Choose that. If you pick Malasana, don't let yourself off the hook. Press your elbows into your thighs and open up your knees wider. Lift your hips up a smidgen to find a little bit of discomfort and work. Then breathe there. For 3, 2, lengthen your crown, everybody. Last 1. Take a vinyasa if you'd like. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, empty. Look forward, feet to hands. Travel. Lengthen long. Exhale, bow. Chair pose, Utkatasana, belly in, lift your arms up high. Create space in your spine, eagle pose. Right leg comes over, right arm under. Bring your inner drishti to your left foot and press down, lengthen your spine, crown of your head reaches high. 3 more breaths. Hug your outer glutes in. You've got this. Keep the length in your spine. Switch limbs. Left leg comes over. Left arm goes under. Root down into your standing foot. Lengthen your spine. Right side, right leg over, right arm under. Go right into it. Switch limbs, left leg over, left arm under. Keep bringing your inner drishti, your inner noticing to the space created at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. Now squeeze into your eagle. Lift your elbows a smidgen more towards the ceiling. Tadasana. Take a breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Standing leg raise. Take either your knee or your big toe. And then create a long line of energy from your standing foot through the crown of your head. Create space in your spine. Then open up to the right. Extend your left arm long. Soften your eyes. Take your knee or toe forward, leg forward. Airplane pose or a warrior 3 variation of your choice. Leg behind you. Soften your standing knee. Dial the pinky toe of your right foot down. Lift your shoulders up away from the floor and towards the ceiling. 3 breaths. Half moon. If you have a block and you want to put it underneath your left hand, do that. If you have a wall and want to use it, do that. Just keep your right leg active by pressing through the heel and reaching through the crown of your head, creating space in the spine. Spiral your chest open. If you have a bind and you want to bend your back knee, your top knee to create more space, do that. Last 3, 2, bow forward, release your limbs to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Regain your breath and your drishti. Standing leg raise, left knee comes in, or grab the big toe. Pit of your belly in and up. Create the space of a nice strong line of energy in your spine. Open up to the left, extend your right arm. And even though you're pressing through the right heel and getting strong in your right leg, keep a slight bend just to allow space for wiggles and wobbles that are going to happen. Come back to center. Airplane pose or warrior 3, your variation. As one of my teachers says, life has lots of twists and turns and wobbles. Just like on our yoga mat, we're just practicing the tools to navigate, creating more space for a response instead of a reaction. Half moon pose. Keep pressing through your left heel. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Soften that standing knee and twist your chest open. Option to take the bind of your top foot. Sometimes I like to extend my top arm to the front of the room, and that creates a nice space opening in the ribs. Exhale, bow everything down to the earth. Great work, everybody. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Extended mountain rise. Mountain pose. Exhale. Close your eyes, breathe in. Open your mouth, let something go. Flutter your eyes open, soften your gaze. Dancer pose, balance on your left leg. Bend your right knee. Flex your right foot. Expand in both directions. Create the sensation of hugging in and expressing out in the same breath for 5, 4. Create more softness. 3, 2, switch limbs. Dancer pose. Other side. Hug the knee into midline. Integrate your limbs into center and then expand. Use the space you've already created on your mat to express out right here for 5, 4, 3, 2, release, tree pose. Bend your right knee. Marry the sole of your right foot into your left thigh, and your left thigh presses back. Hook your thumbs over your head and lengthen up. Maybe your gaze goes high as well. Maybe you fall out and have to come back in. That's okay too. Switch limbs. I took a class yesterday and my teacher said, you know, it doesn't get easier. We just find new edges to keep challenging ourselves in the practice. So we're always in the work. Tadasana at the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your hands. High to low vinyasa through. We will meet in downward facing dog. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Right foot forward. You can go through warrior 1 and 2 if you'd like. If you have a block and you'd like to use it underneath your hands, please do that. Props are a great way to allow for more space to emerge in the pose that we didn't think was possible in our body. Once you find your way into the pose, lift and spread your toes, find your foundation of your feet, and then press the earth away to lift your torso up higher. Twist open more. Come to rise, pivot your feet to the left edge of your mat. Take your hands to your hips and inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. You can plant your hands and walk them through your feet. If there is an inversion in your practice, you're welcome to go upside down. You have 5 breaths here. Oftentimes the default is for us to collapse into our inner arches, press the outer edges of your feet down and lift your inner arches up away from the mat. And bend your knees. Another breath. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders, halfway lift. Pull your belly into your spine. Exhale, pivot to the front edge of your mat, staying low, and take pyramid pose. Shorten the distance of your feet so you can plug both feet and heels down into your yoga mat this morning. Feet are hip distance apart. It's going to create more space in your pelvis, in your low back, opposed to having your heel aligned or you're on a tightrope type of creation. So feet hip distance. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, take twisting triangle. If you have your block handy, this is a beautiful place to use it on the inside or outside of your front foot. You don't have to lift your right arm high. You can keep it on your sacrum or pull your right hip back, with your, hook your right thumb into your crease, hip crease. Create space in the spine, hips back, crown of your head forward. One last breath. Plant your hands. We'll meet in downward facing dog, vinyasa or not. I guess I should call that not yasa, not yasa. Triangle, left side. You make the journey there. And then you created the tools on your mat today with your breath, with your drishti, with lengthening and stretching your spine in both directions. What can you add in here in your triangle pose to create more space? Maybe it's softening your front knee just a smidgen so you have access to something greater. Take your shoulders to your back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rise to stand, pivoting to the right edge of your mat now. Grab your hips with your hands. Press down and lengthen your spine up. Exhale, fold. Pigeon toe your feet. Heels slightly out. And then grab your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Breathe in. Exhale, pivot towards the front edge of your mat. Pyramid pose. Again, your feet hip distance apart or more this morning. Really rooting down the center of each heel. So use that traction to lengthen your spine in both directions. Looking at creating more space. It's always available. Halfway lift, breathe in. Twist your triangle, breathe out. Again, shift your outer left hip back. Crown of the head forward. Front ribs pull in. 2 more breaths. Create the space in your body. Translates to creating the space off of your mat. Take flow, vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Full permission to take whatever you need. Take a breath in. Open your mouth, exhale it out, empty. You can make noise too. Shift forward, high plank, lower all the way down. Hug your elbows in. Make a pillow with your hands. Take a couple breaths here. Just allow your body to land just as it is. Locust pose. Tuck your toes and inch your legs back, creating more space in the legs, in the lower body, the lower torso here. And then take your arms behind you, next to your side, palms face down. If creating more space looks like taking the clasp, then do that. Lift your torso up, your chests. If you're ready, your legs and your feet for a 3 count. 3. Lift your arm bones up to the sky. 2. Create space across your chest. Last 1. Lower all the way down. Take a cheek to your mat or create a pillow with your hands. Take a breath in and a breath out. Locust pose number 2. Tuck your feet. Walk your legs back. It's amazing how many inches you can grow by just consciously making the efforts to lengthen your body out and then rise up. Locust pose. 4, 5, 4. Cervical spine long, gaze down. 2. Last 1. Lower all the way down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Bend your knees, floor bow. Hug your inner thighs together. If you can reach back and grab your ankles, then do that. If you cannot, then just create the shape as is, as if you're reaching towards your ankles. All right, rise up. If you've got your ankles, keep kicking your feet back, opening your chest wide, space across your collarbones. 3, 2, lower down. Windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Tops of your feet down on the mat. Cobra or upward facing dog. You choose. And just pause here. Wherever you are, press your palms down and take your chest forward, lifting up out of your pelvis. Downward facing dog. Keep that length. Keep the length in the front body. Drop your knees, camel pose. Take a breath in, a breath out. Tuck your toes for the first one. Place the palms at your low back, fingertips facing down towards the floor. Open up your chest here, squeeze your shoulders together. Tuck your chin towards your chest. As you go back, go slow. Press your hips forward. Maybe you grab onto your ankles. Maybe you stay upward here. We're looking to create the space of going up and lengthening more so than going back. Release from the pose, head comes up last, sit onto your heels, take a breath in. A breath out. Camel pose number 2. This time you can leave your toes tucked or untuck them. You choose. Create the foundation of the pose. Again, palms pressing into your low back, pressing the hips forward. Now lengthen the crown up, tuck your chin. More focus on creating the space of lengthening than that of going back. If going back happens, great. Take the full expression of your pose this morning for 3, for 2. Come up slowly, head comes up last, tuck your chin, sit your hips back on your heels. Palms on your thighs. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. Open your mouth, let it go. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Find your way onto your back for bridge pose. Feet at 12 o'clock and at least 12 inches away from your glutes. So create space here. I know for me, the default is for me to bring my heels right up close to my bottom. And we really want to create more space than that. You can even take your feet a little bit wider than hip distance if you'd like today. Lift your hips up, squeeze your outer glutes in, and then tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, creating just so much space in your chest. Hug your inner thighs, last 3, 2, exhale, empty, and lower all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together. Take a deep breath in and a breath out. We're going to do 3 more bridges or wheels. What does that look like for you? You choose. Create space in your body, rise, bridge or wheel number 1. Lift up. You can add in lifting a leg if you'd like to stretch your toes up to the ceiling, if that creates more space for you. Last 3, 2, lower all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Cup your hands like little C's and then put them in your hip crease and press your thighs away from you. Lengthen your spine up towards the length of your mat. Good. Keep that length. Bridge or wheel number 2, 2 of 3. Bridge or wheel, go. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, exhale, lower, 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 Supta Baddha Konasana. Take your hands in the shape of a C, press them into your hip crease, pressing your thighs away from you, lengthening the crown of your head up to the top edge of your mat. Get long, create space. Keep it. Bridge or wheel number 3, last chance. If you've been waiting, wait no longer. Rise up. 4, 5, 4, 3, root down, rise up, 2, lower all the way down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Close your eyes. Take a hand to your heart, a hand to your belly. Soften your jaw. Noticing the space at the top of the breath and the bottom of the breath. Happy baby. You can keep your eyes closed and reach for your feet. Option to rock gently back and forth, massaging your low back. Straightening a leg one at a time. Release the bind of your feet. Press your feet to the ceiling. Now, option here, we're going to do bicycles for 1 minute, and you can do them straight-legged, or you can stack your knees on top of your hips, and that'll be your starting and your end point. So don't bring your knee to your elbow, bring your elbow to your knee. So for 1 minute, you choose your bike. Pedal, begin now. Can you keep your feet flexed and your toes spread wide, even creating space in your bike? Reaching forward, pressing it out. "25 more seconds, keep going. Keep using your breath. Take what you need, always take care of yourself. If something doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Space creates that inner knowing, the ability to know what's for us, what isn't for us. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hug your knees into your chest. Hug your knees in, give yourself a squeeze. Grasp behind your thighs and then rock and roll 3 times. Up and down your spine, just a little ball. Be free, have fun. And then on your last roll, take boat pose, Navasana. Come up onto your sitting bones. You can take your toes down, or you can take your fingertips down. Whatever this looks like in your body this morning. Just create the straight spine and space across your collarbone and your chest. We're here for a count of 10. 1, hug your belly in. 2, 3, 4, you can create whatever version it looks like for you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cross your ankles. Find half pigeon. You can vinyasa if you'd like. And just go to downward facing dog and start from there. Pressing the earth away, getting length in your spine. Maybe lifting the right leg high behind you in down dog, creating that space in your spine, bringing it forward. Half pigeon. Tuck your back toes and walk your left leg back. Before you lower your chest, lengthen your spine up towards the ceiling. Crown of your head reaches. Keep the length as you lower your chest down. Option this morning to lengthen your arms out in front of you. Keep a slight bend in your elbows, and then using some pressure down into the floor or your yoga mat to press into your right hip. Just creates a little more sensation. You can control how much sensation you want to create. But you want to create some sensation. In this practice, we're really working on the fascial network of our body, reorganizing the fascia. And these long holds work to help reorganize the fascia so that we're doing the work of creating more space in our body, hydrating and creating more space in our body. And it takes time. It takes commitment. I'm sure if you've been doing this practice for a long time, I know some of you have. I've seen you for years now on your yoga mat. You can do things that you didn't think you could do or you couldn't do when you first began this practice. Time and space. Double pigeon. Take your left shin on top of your right shin. And if you're like me and you struggle in this pose, I have a couple options for you. You can either take a block underneath your left shin to create some space and stability, support, or you can simply drop your left shin in front of your right shin. Keep your feet flexed, creating the shape of the pose, but this reduces the intensity of the pose. And then drop your chest down towards the earth to whatever degree you can. Keep your shoulders back. 5 deep breaths here. Half pigeon, left side. You can either go right into it or come to downward facing dog, creating the space by lengthening your leg back. You choose. However you land in the pose, tuck your back toes, so your right toes under, and take your right leg back. Lengthen it as long as you can before untucking those toes. Press your palms into the mat and lengthen your spine. Keep the length as you bow forward. Option to extend your arms out. Plant your palms firmly into the ground and press the earth away. Finding additional sensation in that outer left hip. Honestly, if you've done the work today of lengthening and creating space in your spine, you're going to have to adjust your rear view mirror on your car if you get into your car and go somewhere after this class. So be noticing of that. It really does work. If we do the work does us. 5 deep breaths. Keep the spine long, walk yourself up, double pigeon, right shin over left shin, or right shin in front of left shin. Two more breaths. Keep your right knee bent. Extend your left leg long for Janu Shirshasana. Flex your left toes back towards your face. Press your sitting bones down. Lengthen your arms up. Keep the length, bow. Just like in tree pose, press that right sole into your left thigh. Take your chin out towards your big toe. Switch limbs. Right leg long. Left sole into your right thigh. Lengthen, press down into your sit bones. Keep the length. Take your chin towards your big toe. Pull your pinky toe back towards your face. You can bend your right knee as much as you need here. Let's create a long spine this morning, opposed to the rounding of the spine today. Lengthen both legs, remove your booty flesh underneath you to root down into your sit bones. Flex your feet back towards your face. Press down to lift your arms up. Keep as much length as you can create. Soften your knees. Bow over your legs, chin to your toes. So flat back as much as you can and bend your knees as much as you need to create that. I've got some shaky legs happening right now. That's okay. Walk your hands behind you, fingertips facing your glutes. Take reverse tabletop or reverse plank. What is creating more space look like for you right now? Take that. Root down into your hands and feet. Lift your hips high. Take a breath in. Open your mouth, stick your tongue out. Ha. Lower all the way down. Find an inversion of your choice. If you have a block and you'd like to take Vipriti Karani, do that. Legs up the wall pose, an option. Shoulder stand, head stand. Looking for the listening of where you can create more space. Take 8 more deep breaths wherever you are. Some of you know I've been taking on a foster, a big 85-pound pit bull mix named Ham. And honestly, it's amazing the transformation that has happened with him just by someone holding space for him. like not getting crazy, just breathing and being with him. How much that has translated into him settling down into a home life. It's been a beautiful unfolding to watch in such a short time. Make your way down to the floor. And take your time. Extend your arms overhead. Reach your feet to the front edge of your mat for a full body stretch. And take up space here. Take a breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Release your limbs heavy. One more time. Press through your heels, reach through your fingertips, get long, breathe in. Release everything, breathe out. Hug your knees into your chest. Take your forehead to your knees. Rock back and forth. Plant your feet hip distance apart on the outer edges of your yoga mat. Drop your knees over to the right, arms out into a T or a cactus if you'd like. Look down, notice if your leg bone is in line with your shoulder. You can stay here. If you want to scale up and go a little deeper, take your right ankle on top of your left thigh. If you want to create a little bit more space in your side body, you can take both of your hands on your left side, pressing into that C motion of your hand, C shape of your hand. Press your hip bone down and then just take your other arm, your other hand to lengthen your side waist. Doing a little self-assist here. I miss that part of the practice. Create space along the left side of your body and your hip flexor. And then bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat one more time. Drop your knees over to the left this time. Look down and see that your knee and your hip is in a line with your shoulder. Option to take your left ankle on top of your right thigh. May create a little more space to lengthen your right side out. Option to add a little self-assist here. Supta Baddha Konasana. Bringing yourself back to center, soles of your feet together, knees wide, if that works for you. Arms up over your head, release your shoulders, release everything down to the mat. Begin to soften your breath. Extend your legs long. Take up space. Arms wide, tuck your shoulders underneath you. Like a giant starfish on the beach. Take up space. Adyashanti, a spiritual teacher I follow, calls this taking your seat. Taking your seat is owning your space. Own your space. You're only here for such a short time. Where aren't you owning your space? Is there anywhere you need to give more space? Take deep rest. I will let you know when it's time to come out. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing small movements back into your body. And gently bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze of acknowledgement for showing up, for making space in your day. And gently roll to one side and pause. Press yourself up to seat. Hands at heart center. Press your thumb knuckles into your chest. And bow your chin. Acknowledge the stillness and the space inside of each and every one of us. And we'll connect from that space one last time. Close our practice with Om. Breathe in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead center with so much love, light, gratitude for each of you showing up today. Together we say, Namaste.